Hi, I'm Bob Lefferts, and this is the first video in a series of videos that I'd like to show you how to make your own video game using the Python programming language. With raising my own kids, I found that if you ask your mom if they can have time to make a video game, it goes much better than if you ask them to have time to play a video game. And one of the things we had with my boys when they were younger and all they wanted to do was play video games was for every hour they spent playing a video game, they had to spend an hour making a video game. Now they've all grown up and they're off. One's a professor, the other one actually works on video games and does animation for video games. But I'd like to take some time to show you how to make your own video game in Python using technology from 2022 instead of 1989 or whatever, 2000. And so what we're going to do is this is going to be a series of videos that will teach you how to make your own video game. We'll be using the Python programming language. In this video, we'll show you how to download Python and get it installed. I'm going to start with a demo of the video game that you're going to actually make. It's roughly 200 lines of Python. It'll take a little while. It's not too bad. I'll show you basic programming principles, what's a variable and what types of variables, how to write a function, how to organize your program. And also we'll be using object-oriented programming. You can create an object and then use that object over and over again with a very, very efficient way to program. You get to do all the typing. I will show you some of the code. We can write it together, but you will have to type it in. I will not be providing any code to you. You'll have to look at the video and actually copy the text yourself. So I highly recommend that while you're doing this video, you also spend some time on Typing Tutor, where you can learn to type. Now, just FYI, if you can get online with me and demonstrate to me that you can type 50 words a minute by emailing me at bob.l@synopsys.com, the first 100 kids they can show me they can type 50 words a minute routinely, I will buy them a gaming keyboard, which runs roughly costs about $200 to have your own. Okay? So that's a motivation because I, at my age, would love to be able to type better. You'll see that through the videos. I wish I could type better. So I'm trying to get you guys as kids to learn how to type. And I'm willing to hang some money out there for you as an incentive. So recommend that you take me up on that offer. You also notice in the course of this video, I change my shirt a lot. I'm trying to develop this video over time when I have free time, and so it gets interspersed around a pretty busy schedule. So I recommend you proceed at your own pace. Rewind the video. You can back it up. You can do it again. Take your own time. You can pause the video. You can slow it down to work at your own pace. I will be providing some additional material, web pages that you can bookmark and go to when you have questions, some YouTube videos to watch. I'll give you those as well so you can work on your own instead of just this video. So what are we going to build? Well, we're going to build a program called Missile Command. It was when I was in college many, many years ago. It was very popular. I apologize in advance that it is a shooting game. It has missiles and buildings and things that get blown up. Video games like that are very easy to write. They're interactive. I apologize for the shooting and the bombing, especially in the world that we live in. But that's what a lot of video games are, and I apologize. Some of the stuff we'll be doing is a little bit more generic, random walks and turtles and frogs and things like that. But let me give you a demo of the program that we'll actually be writing. All right, this is the video game we're going to build. Or you're going to build. It's called Missile Command. There's a launcher down at the bottom. There's a target on my mouse. And there's some buildings here at the bottom that we're trying to protect. And there's some mountains in the background. Again, you can draw your own backgrounds, but I'm going to provide you with some of the graphics that you can use here in your video game. And the way that it works is that this missile launcher down at the bottom, if you click your mouse, it will send up a missile. And when the missile reaches the target point, it explodes. I can fire as many missiles as I want. And when I press the start button, there's something for me to aim at. These ships come in from up above. And if I don't hit the ship, it will hit the building, and the building falls down. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to show you how to download Python. So go to a URL and type python.org downloads Windows. And that should, or Mac if you're using Mac, but I'm using Windows box. These are all the Python releases. You can see these are all in March. Depending on when you're doing this, if it's way after March, it's fine. I'm going to go back here and pick up the January releases. There's a lot of changes in March. I'm just going to figure out. I'll just use 3.9.1.0. I want to use the Windows installer, 64-bit, and I click on that, and it will download here in the corner my executable. And when that's done, I can show it in folder, and I can double click on it and do the install. Install now. And I'll go ahead and speed up the install process by a little bit just to make it go faster. It'll take you a little bit longer. All right, so I'm going to close this, and I'm going to go over to my Start menu, and now under P for Python, I've got Python 3.9. So now that we've downloaded Python, we want to download the editor that we'd like to use for editing our Python. So we're going to go to another tab, and we're going to go to Google. We're going to type PyCharm, P-Y-C-H-A-R-M, download for Windows, or for Mac if you're using a Mac. And that'll bring us to a Google page where we can click on jetbrains.com, download PyCharm. When you click on that, it gives you two options. There's a professional version, which costs money after 30 days. And there's the community version over on the left, on the right, where we're going to click download on the community version. It's free and it has all the functionality that we need. Now that's going to take a little while. So I will go ahead and speed up the download of that executable by just a little bit, factor of 2. So instead of taking, half a minute, it's done here in a few seconds. And once that completes downloading, just like we did on Python, now we're going to go ahead and click on Show in Folder. So you go ahead and click on Show in Folder. And there's the download in the downloads directory. You're going to double click on it, or you can right click on it and say open, either one. Click on open. And that will open the installer. It'll take a second here to come up. I've sped this up just a little bit, but then the installer will come up and you get a window that looks kind of like that. So this is for PyCharm Community Edition, the free version. We're going to hit next. It's got a location where it wants to put it. We're okay with that location, so you can go ahead and hit next. It does take some disk space, so you need to make sure you've got room. Go ahead and hit next. And we want to go ahead and put in a shortcut. We want to basically open folder as a project and add .py extensions so that it'll always automatically fire it up. And then go ahead and hit install. Now this installation process can take quite a while. I've gone ahead and sped it up by a factor of 4 so that it won't take that long. But when you do the install, it'll take a little while. So I sped it up just so we can get through the process a little bit quicker. So it does all the downloads and installs all the stuff it needs to. So this takes roughly 4 times longer. And then here it comes up. And now don't click the Run PyCharm Community Edition once you hit finish. I tried that and it didn't work very well. So don't do that. Just go ahead and hit finish. And then I'll show you how to fire up PyCharm itself. If for some reason when you fire up PyCharm it doesn't work, you can just go back to your downloads directory and double click on this. It'll ask you if you want to reinstall. Just hit continue, continue, and yes, yes, yes. And it will reinstall. And then when I did that, it actually worked fine. So now we're downloaded. So now we've got Python and PyCharms installed. I'm going to go ahead and fire up PyCharms by going to the Start menu, scrolling down to JetBrains. There we have JetBrains. And there's PyCharm Community. So go ahead and click on that, start it up. There it is. I have to confirm, accept the conditions of the user agreement, which I will do. No thanks. Don't send. PyCharm Community 2022-1. Let's wait for it to come up. Okay. So this is the welcome screen. And so I've got projects, open an old project, and I'm going to do a new project. New project, Python project. I'm going to call this missile command. We're going to make missile command. So I hit missile command, So now it's missile command. All this stuff is missile command, and I hit create. Creating virtual environment. Here you see my missile command. It's got a location. Let's give it a second to load. And it's created a main.py, which is sitting here. And I'm going to go ahead and do full screen on this thing. So I've gone ahead and increased the font a little bit so it's a little easier to see. And this is, when you create a new project, this is the main.py that gets generated. It's a sample Python script, okay, inside of PyCharm. There's a single function defined. It's called print hi, where you give it a name, and it says, hey, hi to name. Pretty simple. And then there's a function down here that says, hey, if the name of this code is main, then go ahead and print hi PyCharm. So if I'm running this program, we'll talk about this later. This is just allows you to do some testing of a file, and that can be and then imported to other files. So we'll go through that later. But basically right now, I can push this button and it will run the program. Let's run main. And sure enough, it printed hi PyCharm, just like this says to do. It says print hi, and then whatever gets passed in as the argument. So if I go down here and I say print hi to Bob me, and I say run, then it says print hi to PyCharm and print hi to Bob Leffers. So you can use these functions over and over again. So this is our first function. And that's the end of this video. We're going to start the next video talking about where to go learn how to use PyCharm and the functions that you can do, moving text around, and how PyCharm actually works. There's some great online things on YouTube, and I'll show you those in the next video. But that's it. We've got our program downloaded. We've got Python downloaded. We've got PyCharm downloaded. We're ready to start programming. You've seen the video game we're going to build. So we'll start doing that, learning about variables in the next video. Thank you very much.